Good afternoon, or good evening when this goes out. Thank you for watching, it is appreciated as always. I want to get into the establishment snobbery that we have in the United Kingdom. We very much have a class system in the United Kingdom. It's not been left in the 19th century, and it displays itself every single day when you get people from my background, working class background, automatically dismissed, not on the strength of the arguments, but where they've come from and how they speak. So thank you for watching, it is appreciated. Now in this particular video, I'm going to be using Tommy, because he's a representative of the working class man or woman in the United Kingdom. And the establishment shill, the Tory wet, Camilla Tominey. She was a royal correspondent for the legacy media before getting her own show on GB News. Earlier this year, when Elon Musk supported Tommy and called out Jess Phillips about the cover-ups on the predominantly Pakistani grooming gangs on the white British girls since the 1970s, she went out and she slandered him, and she made some baseless assertions, which I'm going to show you again just for context.
They know, of course, that Elon Musk has had a go at Nigel Farage because Nigel Farage has refused to bring Tommy Robinson into the fray of reform. Tommy Robinson has obviously been vocal about this issue, although therein lies the contradiction here, because for all of his genius, wisdom and wealth, Elon Musk doesn't quite seem to understand who Tommy Robinson is and what he represents.
He's not establishment, he's working class, he's not from money, he's not from wealth, and you've got a problem with that. And you've also got a problem with the fact that he's patriotic and he seems to rally people to him like a moth to a flame. You don't like these things because it's dangerous and it's an uncontrolled element.
Which is a misunderstanding that is sometimes seen across the pond, Americans and Canadians thinking that Tommy Robinson is some kind of, misunderstood folklore figure.
It's gone beyond that. He's not a folklore figure. He's not Robin Hood. He's not a thief. He's also not a white supremacist.
When in fact he's a convicted criminal.
And according to the establishment, if you're a convicted criminal, there's nothing down for you. You can't change your life, you can't turn your life around, you can't go from being a villain or someone the establishment has decided to put in prison to turning your life around. You're forever condemned and you need to go to a confessional and repent, according to Camilla, in my opinion.
And white supremacist who hasn't really done much. In fact, he's currently serving a sentence for contempt of court.
That contempt of court is a civil offence, and the Attorney General signed off on locking him up for it. That's right, a civil offence, and he got a prison cell for that. The punishments can sometimes be the punishments. Sometimes it's the process being the punishments, but in Tommy's case, they're always going to throw the book at him.
For nearly disrupting the proper investigation of a child sex abuse gang. So in all of that, one asks oneself the question, should any of us be listening to Elon Musk?
Right, Camilla, sweetheart, honey, I think you're done. I not only don't want to listen to you anymore, I don't think anybody else should listen to you either, okay? You shouldn't have a show on GB News, and you should go back to what you do best, which is plug in the Tories and the Royals and go back to ITV. I'd pick Tommy over you, and I'd pick Elon Musk over you as well. Anyway, that's enough of that clip. Earlier this week, Tommy put out a tweet basically calling her out. Now, whether he's taking legal action against her or not is another matter. We got what many may think is a underhanded apology. I wouldn't go that far, but she's had to go out on podcasts, and this is what she had to say about the whole incident.
We've got into the space now where if you do accuse him of being far right, if you do suggest that he might be a racist and a white supremacist, all hell breaks loose.
Let's clarify that. Okay, don't make it a we, make it a you. This is a you problem, not a me problem. This isn't an us problem, this is a you problem. You've accused somebody of being something that is patently not true. You've accused them of that. Where's your evidence? There is no evidence because there isn't any to produce. What you're saying is you don't like the fact that the rug has been pulled from underneath you, You thought you could get away with this bullshit. People are calling you out on it, and you don't like it. You thought Tommy's the enemy, he's outside the Overton window, he's outside the establishment, he's an easy target. It could be any one of us. Now, I'm not saying I've got the influence of each of Tommy, far from it, and I don't think I ever would do, and I don't even think that's a cross I'd want to bear. But think about anybody who's got a platform, who thinks they're doing the right thing for the country. They don't necessarily even want everyone to agree with them, they're just saying it how it is or how they view it. And they could come for you next, they could come for anybody else. And this is the thing you need to be mindful of, and this is what we need to guard against.
But, I mean, is it unfair and unduly pejorative to use those terms about him?
Yes, because you're a snob, you're an upper class idiot, you've not done your due diligence or research, and you are wrong.
Yeah, white supremacist doesn't make sense because he's multiculturalist. He's like an old civic nationalist. He basically doesn't care what colour someone is. He just doesn't. He just wants their ideas to be good.
But he wants the British indigenous public to reign supreme.
He does. Is that bad? Is that wrong? Definitely not. I think the indigenous people of the United Kingdom should be put first. If you come into our country, you need to assimilate. That means you are subservient, you are supplicant to the host nation. And that's the way it should be. You need to integrate. If you're not going to integrate, jog on. That doesn't mean you're a white supremacist. Me personally, I think Britain being a white country is incidental. Alright? I don't want the makeup or the demographic makeup of the country to change because it's homogenous and it should remain homogenous. It's the same with all Western nations or even nations that are aligned with the West but aren't necessarily in the West, like Japan, for example. I want them to be ethnically homogenous. That's not a bad thing. If you went to a African nation that's predominantly black and they say, well, we want to remain predominantly black, always look at the racism and flip it on its head. And if it's a problem one way, then it's a problem another way. If it's not a problem one way, then it's not a problem the other way. It's as simple as that. And I don't think we should reign supreme in the United Kingdom. I think we should rule supreme.
He doesn't want what he describes as an Islamification of Great Britain to take place.
Many of us agree with that. Many people think that macro Islam, on a mass scale, imported wholesale into the United Kingdom, is a bad thing. Bad things can happen from that. That's not Islamophobic, because that would be an irrational fear. What if the fear is rational?
And therefore that's a degree of supremacy of, I would say, kind of like, I don't know, Judo-Christianity over Islam.
Not all cultures are equal. The Western civilization is the best culture in the world. That is patently correct and obvious to anybody who's not plugging the multicultural narrative that you're plugging, sweetheart.
Well, yeah, if he thinks that's better, then I don't know if that's necessarily like a supremacy. I mean, you could say that there are people that think Britain should be Islamic. Is that their Islamic supremacy?
Yeah, maybe.
So we'll leave that one there. Basically, the person who was interviewing or having the back and forth with Camilla called her out on her BS, on her bullshit, and we should all do the same thing. You want to preserve the United Kingdom, you're a unionist. If you want to preserve the distinct cultural identity of these islands, again, you're a unionist. The Republic of Ireland are having the same problems that we've got here. I would count them in this as well, I always will do. They may be a separate country, but I'll still count them as my kith and kin. This is what you need to safeguard against, and this is what you need to look out for. The establishments will come for all of us, whether it's Tommy or anybody else who gets a marginally amplified voice, because it's something they cannot control. That's why they want to censor the internet, because they haven't got control of the internet. Always remember that. Now, if you think Camilla's right, let me know. If you think I'm right, let me know. I'm not a Tommy Shill. I've never met the man. I do believe in being fair to everybody. I look forward to seeing a lot of you down in London in September. Have a good day and thank you for watching as always.